It is Miss Hester, and this is another video in a series that I am doing over what we did in class for the past week to week and a half, where we were doing a thinking classroom where you guys were on the whiteboards and I wasn't giving you as much direction. I gave you some information and then you guys went off and worked on your own. Okay, this video is about how I apply multiplication and division to radicals or roots. Okay, so with multiplication, okay, so in this case I have the sixth root of 25 times the sixth root of 625. With the multiplication of roots, okay, what I need to have is I have to have the same type of root. So in this case I'm good to go because I have a sixth root and a sixth root. If this was like the fourth root of whatever number times the third root of whatever number, I would not be able to do this. Okay, we can talk a little later. I think we talk a little later about this, but for now, if I do not have the same type of root, I cannot do this property. Okay, and this property is if I have the same type of root, I can draw one big root and I can put the two numbers that are underneath my two separate roots under that big root, and I can still multiply them. Again, this is because I have the same type of root here. If these two things are different, we cannot do this, but if they are the same, yay. Okay, so now let's see if these are the same. So we have 25 times 625. That gives me 15,625. That is a big old number. So we have this sixth root of 15,625. Is that now from here? What we could do one of two things. We can try and shove it in a calculator and pray we get a nice number. If we don't get a nice number, we can break this down like we've been talking about and pull numbers out from there. But let's hopefully get a nice number. So we have math. I'm going to scroll down to my fifth option because I have a different type of root. So I have sixth root of 15,625, and it is a really nice number. It is just 5. Okay, so again, if you wanted to, you could break this down doing the method that we've been talking about, but I prefer the calculator because one, it's easier, and two, it's less steps, and you all know that I am somewhat lazy. So I'm going to leave it like that because 5 is a very nice number. Okay, so for division, it works very, very similarly. If I have the same type of root, in this case I do, okay, all I do is I'm going to shove those two things under the same root. So I have 343 divided by 7. Okay, so let's see what 343 divided by 7 is. So 343 divided by 7 is equal to 49. Okay, that is a really nice number. So then I have the square root of 49, and the square root of 49 is 7. Okay, so again, as long as I have the same type of root, I'm good to go. Okay, but if these two things were different, I would not be able to do this. Okay, so if I'm doing multiplication or division with roots, I hopefully have the same type of root. If I don't, we'll talk about that a little later. But if I do, yay, makes my life a little easier. Okay, so here, I'm going to put these two things under the same fourth root. 12 times 8, which is 96. Okay, so fourth root of 96. Let's see if this is a nice number. Okay, so let's see, scroll down. We have, oops, I'm getting an ad. Yay, this is fun. I'm not sponsored by Google, guys. I just have a calculator emulator that likes to say skip away, go away. Yay, okay. So we have the fourth root of 96. That's not 96, that's 94. 96 is equal to, ooh, that's not nice. That's a really nasty decimal. Okay, so let's see. What can I break 96 into? So let's see, I know I could break it into 12 and 8. So 12 can break into 3 and 4. 4 breaks into 2 and 2. 8 breaks into 4 and 2. And that 4 breaks into 2 and 2 again. Now, I started with a fourth root, so I have to have 4 of a single number to be able to pull one out. So I see 4 2's right here, so I have a 2. But I'm left with a 3 and a 2 underneath. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. So my root breaks down to 2 root 6. Okay, now if you leave it as the fourth root of 96, okay, you're not wrong, but you don't get full credit, okay, at least in Miss Hester's class. Okay, you have to break that down from there. Okay, so that's that. All right, so we have division again, so I'm going to put them under the same root because those are both fifth roots. So I have 128 divided by 4. Let's see what that is. So we have 128 divided by 4 is equal to 32. So we have the fifth root of 32. Let's see what that guy is. So we have math, fifth root of 32 is equal to 2. So 2 is a very nice number. So it is equal to 2. And I'm done. Okay, so again, with multiplication and division of roots, as long as your roots are the same type, I can just put everything under a single root and perform the operation from there. Okay, and more often than not, if we get big numbers like this first one was, just try it in your calculator and hopefully you get a nice number. If you don't get a nice number like we did here, just break it down like we've been talking about and you should be good to go. Okay, there we go. All right, so now, same kind of thing. I have the fourth root of 9 times 9, which gives me the fourth root of 81. Plugging that into our calculators, math, fourth root, 81. We have 3. So our answer here is 3. Okay. Now this one was probably the most difficult about this set. Okay. It was going backwards using that division property. If I notice, I have division underneath the root, but this is not very nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to break this up just a little bit. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and see if I can make this nicer to look at. Okay. Now the root 7, I can't break this up. I can't simplify this. I can't do anything to it. Okay. Because 7 is a prime number, but the 80 I can mess around with. So let's see if we can break up the 80 to make it a little nicer. So 80 I can break into 4 and 20. 4 breaks into 2 and 2. 20 breaks into 2 and 10. And 10 breaks into 5 and 2. Okay, now I have a square root here, so I'm looking for pairs. I have a pair of 2's here, so I'm going to pull that 2 out. I have another pair of 2's, these guys, so I'm going to have that 2 out there. Okay, whenever I pull more than one number out, I multiply those two things together, and then I have the leftover 5, so I have the square root of 5. So then my 80 breaks into 4 root 5, but this is just my denominator. Okay, this is not my answer. Okay, my answer is the square root of 7 divided by 4 root 5. Okay, that's my answer. This was just what we did to break up the 80. Okay, so that is our answer. Okay, all right. So let's talk about this guy. So this one and the next one are very, very similar. I'm just going to do one of them. But very, very similar. What we want to do is we're going to kind of simplify this numerator. In this one, we would simplify the denominator first. Okay, and then we would do the division. So I'm going to put my numerator. We have 3 of 25 times 10 is 250 divided by the cube root of 2. Okay, do my division. I have a big old cube root of 250 divided by 2. So then I get the cube root of 125. Okay, plugging that into my calculator. Pray that I get a good number. Cube root, 125. And it is 5. Okay, so our answer here is 5. Okay, so that is what we would do in this case. Okay, and same thing over here. We just have it flipped. We would do the denominator first and then do our division. Okay, so again, with multiplication and division of roots, you just have to make sure that your roots are the same type. If they aren't the same type, we'll deal with it later. But if they are the same type, just put it under one root. And if you get a big number or just a number in general, plug it into your calculator, see if you get a nice number. If you do not, break it down like we've talked about and go from there. I hope this video helped. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can be famous one day. Have a good day, guys.